Today on the DNVR Pregame Show, we got George Helow, we got Philip Houston, we got Michael Pollock, and we got this wonderful cast. Let's talk Buffs. Let's dive right in. Let's go.
You squad.
There you go.
Yeah, four-pronger.
Sheesh.
The DNVR Pregame Show for Colorado versus Utah
Quad pod
is presented by our friends over at Game Time and Coors Light. Download the Game Time app center with the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS. Get $20 off your first purchase and get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. What's up, gents?
Love that.
Oh, man, not much. What a day.
What a week.
What a week.
What a season.
What a time.
True.
Yeah.
What a time. And I actually just want to get out ahead of this right now because I have a feeling it's going to pop up in the comments. And we got Unk here, so let's just talk about it right off rip. Unk, a single sports conversation show in the world right now is trying to find a new place for Deion Sanders, whether that's the Cowboys, whether that is Florida State. I saw a show, I didn't even watch it, but I saw a show that was titled, like, Ranking the Destinations for Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime to go together. Just kind of your thoughts on this narrative and the idea that, you know, Coach Prime is looking for his way out.
Wow. We're going to start there, huh?
Yep.
Out the gate with
Let's start here out the gate, though. Because I'm with you. We're going to start there. But I got something cool, Jake.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Wait,
Who says we don't love America?
I was going to say, I thought you hated the troops.
Damn. That's sick.
Interchangeable patch there, man. Did I put it back on right? Is that good enough?
It looks great.
Yeah, let's go.
It was better the first
It's
time.
a little
It's okay.
lower now.
We'll fix it later. Look, here's the deal, man. Coach Prime has said over and over and over how happy he is at Boulder, how happy he is to be leading this team, be a part of this organization with Rick George. And his goal is to restore championship caliber ball here, win a national championship here, be the first black coach in college football to do so, wants to do it from here. I think that before you can start really diving into the speculation about him leaving, you also have to go back to the beginning and deal with the speculation of him coming. And I won't pause. I went through that at Jackson State when the rumors were cooking up that a Deion Sanders was coming to Jackson State, and no one could believe it. There's no way we're going to land a coach that caliber. No way he would come coach here.
Heck, even I was saying that about Deion Sanders when we were.
I'm getting there. I'm getting to the Colorado phase of it. So the Jackson State phase, when he does come, those same people who were saying that there's no way he would do it, every single day they were talking about his exit. You have the same situation here now in Colorado. You didn't believe it. He's here. He's now successful. He came here to leave anyway. So the rumors are just going to cook up every time we win a game, every time we move the needle forward. It's part of some greater, grander conspiracy theory to move on. Oh, he's just going to be there to Travis and do a great. Right? The goalposts just keep moving. Meanwhile, we just keep winning because we're focused on Utah, not the rumors. So Stephen A. Smith, everybody out there wants to cook up, going to the Cowboys or going to Florida State. Keep cooking, keep getting your clicks. But Coach Prime is in this building, and he's going over the game plan for tomorrow.
Yep. Damn straight.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's as very, very as simple as you bring Deion Sanders into a conversation. That conversation now gets views, gets clicks, gets interest. And it's honestly almost like watching the gymnastics at the Olympics watching people try to bend and twist their way into getting him into a conversation. And so this one doesn't take as much mental gymnastics to be like, oh, well, if Shador's going to the league, why wouldn't Coach Prime want to go with him? So that is such an easy one for people to just latch onto and drive clicks and drive interest. And now you've got, like the trifecta. You got the Cowboys, you've got Deion Sanders, you've got Shador Sanders. I mean, you're going to drive interest. And so that is really what it comes down to me in the end.
Absolutely. It's just that simple. And it's not going anywhere, so we got to stay focused on the task at hand.
Yep. I just don't know how many more times he got to say it. How much more clear Coach Prime has to be that he's
tired
happy.
of saying it.
Including walking out on his balcony with the camera saying, look at this view.
Right.
Exactly.
And what's funny is people will say, like, well, he said that at Jackson State. And if you go back and look, and he was asked, like, if you were offered a Power 5 job, would you consider it? And he was like, I would be stupid not to consider it.
On 60 Minutes, right?
Which is very different than,
definitely.
I'm not leaving. I love it here. I'm staying.
Yeah.
Not to mention how many times he said he doesn't want to coach NFL players because of what comes with that, and he likes molding young people, which is what he's doing here at Colorado. And then Cam Newton's talking about if he goes to Florida State, he's going to have more resources and he's going to be able to build a program all the way up. Does he not see what's just happened here?
Well, I think, part of that is why I addressed it. I think we were on the bus ride coming back from Lubbock when I talked about Rick George's NIL plan, to get our funds up to match some of those other schools. Because once you do that, when you got $20 million you're working with and they got 19 they're working with, you're in the ball game.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to. So the reasons that Cam Newton articulating he would leave are now moot. Like you don't have to do that now. And so the guys who are working on the collectives and the NIL stuff, increasing the athletic budget toward football, once you're on par with the quote unquote blue bloods or the teams, bigger teams down south, the football schools, why would you leave?
Yep. Exactly. Just to start over again somewhere else.
Just to start over again somewhere else.
Doesn't make any sense.
Hey, we got a guy, man.
We do.
Yeah, we got a guy here. I love him.
We have our first guest joining the show.
You want to trade him headsets? Scott will be back soon.
Scott will be back soon.
Look, let me tell you this. When he has on those jeans and those boots, your running game is in for a long day. That's all I can say for you.
Coach George Helow joining the show again.
If you go under the other way, it'll come back around, I think.
Yeah.
Or that works too.
Should know how to do this by now.
There he is.
What's
Coach
up,
Helow,
Coach?
welcome, man. Welcome
How you doing?
back. Doing good,
Good to
bro.
be back. How you guys?
Good, man. How are
Good.
you?
Good.
Right out the gate, this is something we got to discuss because we didn't talk to you post-game last game. The defensive effort coming out of Lubbock. Early in that first quarter, there was a potential where they could have been 21-0, but the defense held them to 2 field goals. And to me, that really just sparked the turnaround of the game because now the offense is rolling in it. What is it about this defense that why they bend but don't break?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with Robert Livingston. He's done a really good job. He calls good games. The ability to make halftime adjustments. We talked about that on the last show a little bit. And then guys just playing for 60 minutes in the game. So if something goes wrong or you miss a run fit or you bust a coverage and pass, we had some bad calls last week. Refs make a bad call. It's just having the ability to fight and to sustain for 30 minutes within the game. And I think that this year, for the most part, we've gone out and done that, and a credit to the players and the coaches.
Coach, with Utah, they're struggling. They're on their 4th or 5th string quarterback, but you're facing another running back who is very, very talented, has made a lot of noise this year. You guys have done that a lot already this year, just all the teams that you've played. Is there any change to the approach with that, or is it just kind of business as usual?
No, business as usual. I think, Utah, don't look at their record. They're a team that's played a lot of close games this year. I think they're good on both sides of the ball. They've got a really good coaching staff. The head coach has been there for a long time. Players, for them, they're going to play hard. They've already named the defense coordinator, right, the head coach in waiting, so that the defense is going to come out. So I think it's business as usual. We just got to apply our rules and play hard, play a 60-minute game, and get after them.
I think when the average fan watches a game and they see the other team having success running, a lot of times it's like, the linebackers are playing terrible. But it's not always necessarily that. I'm curious if you could just boil it down, simplify it to, when you guys are stopping the run, what is it that you're doing so well?
Yeah, well, first thing is it starts with the front. Striking blocks, staying square, setting edges, not letting the running back get outside, and then getting downhill at linebacker. And then you have second level players, your nickel when we're in sub, and the safety getting their fits. We call them 3-man fits, and knowing who fits where, and then tackling has a big thing to do with it too. So we try to get penetration and make it long day on those guys, and it starts with the front striking blocks and getting downhill at the second level.
What does it take for a player to, execute that, especially when it comes to fitting the run game? Because I feel like you see it a lot, especially in college football, where players are not fitting the run game well.
Yeah, no, I think not to bore anybody here, but I think
You're
it starts
not going to bore us with football.
It definitely starts in practice, right? So, like, throughout the week, like, Coach, the structure of his practice is really good. We get after it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and you've got to get your run fits. We have a team run period, and then we have a scout 1, scout 2 period. So, and also individual periods that are laid out during practice. So a lot of it's on technique and fundamentals and effort and playing with toughness and physicality. And you've got to be able to get your fits and know the plays that they're running. College football, it's a repeat game. You're getting kind of the same runs from different formations. So everybody's got to understand the integrity of the defense and how it fits together, and everybody's got to play assignment sound football. If the 3 techniques holding the B gap and the linebacker's supposed to be in the A gap, you've got to get downhill and strike them with your shoulder pads square and build a wall. And at the end of the day, if we're building a wall in the run game, there's nowhere for the ball to go if you have hard edges. So it's a challenge every week, because we're in the Power 4 football. So you're going to get some good offensive linemen, you're going to get some good backs, you're going to get some good tight ends that know how to block, and I think. But to answer your question, it starts in practice.
And this may be the most, if you look at just the metrics, height, weight, reach, this may be the most NFL-looking offensive line we faced this season, because they got some big boys up front there.
Yeah, they do. They've done a good job with their offensive line. They're a cohesive unit. They play together. And it, that's what we want as a defense, is it always to be challenging.
Yeah.
And as a fierce competitor, that's what you want. You want to go up against the best, and you want to beat the best.
Let me get a little deeper inside the mind of Helow here. We showed the folks after the game down there at Texas Tech a little halftime Helow. Didn't show you whiteboard, but they saw you teaching. You're in the booth and, of course, communicating down what you see, and that's one thing. But then when you make it to the locker room at halftime, what's the difference in those two messages that such an adjustment takes place at halftime?
No, that's a good question. And I think there's 2 different methods that you have at halftime, right? When you're up a couple scores, like, you're going to see the energy levels, the enthusiasm, the passion is going to be at an all-time high, right? Because it's human nature to do what? Relax when you're up. Okay, I'll give you an example. You make an A on a test, you're a college student, first midterm. Then, you've got 2 weeks to the second midterm, so you slack off a little bit and you get a C and you say, okay, well, my class average is a B, I'm good. All right, our job as coaches is we want A's. We want A's on every play. We want A's on every rep. So the energy and enthusiasm is going to be there while we're making the corrections of what hit us. All right, the part 2 to that is, so you're down by 3 or a score or whatever. All right, so we misfit something. We busted a coverage. We got a bad call on the play. So the temperament needs to be, okay, well, look, this is what happened, and this is how we're going to fix it right here. And I think that there's 2 methods to go about it, but it's getting the guys' attention to what we need to fix. All right, what's the problem? What's the solution to the problem? And then the other thing is, don't look at the scoreboard. We've got 30 minutes of football. We're going to go out there. We're going to strike blocks. We're going to get our fits. We don't care with what formation or run plays they come out in. And we're going to play and not look at the scoreboard for the next 30 minutes of the game. And I feel like, that's been working for us. And, again, talking about Robert Livingston, and he's such a smart guy. You can talk to Robert, and I know you guys have had him on the show before, but you'll ask him something, and he'll go, well, go to the Bengals game in 2020, sixth play of the game versus the Steelers. And I'm thinking, I don't remember what I had for dinner last night. So, his ability to adapt and adjust with the calls throughout the game has been a big part of the halftime adjustments too. And Kevin Mathis does a great job with the pass game. Kevin, special teams, pass game, just a football coach overall. I think he's very, very impressive.
Yeah. Going back to Robert Livingston, Coach, first year as a defensive coordinator, first year as a play caller, just what's it been like for you to just watch him go in there and approach this job and go into work each and every day and have this defensive turnout?
Yeah, well, I can't say enough for the job that he's done. And he's just a smart football mind, He understands the technique side of it. He understands the scheme side of it. He's really good with the players and knowing what they can do. He's really good at taking the scheme and making it simple for the players so they can go out and execute it at a high level. He's positive every day. He comes to work with just a consistent guy that you know what you're getting. I've been around a lot of people in coaching, whether up and down and whether it's a win or a loss, you're going to get a different guy. You don't know what to expect. Robert's even keel, he's a hard worker too. He gets there early, stays late, and does a really good job with the game plan week in and week out. Great football coach.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the players just love him, though.
Yeah, no, the coaches love him too.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. And it's any profession, right? You guys work together, you do a show. It makes it so much enjoyable. First off, winning is the biggest thing.
Sure,
it makes it enjoyable. We all know that. But when you're working with good, like-minded people that have good moral values and were raised the right way, and I feel like Coach has done a really good job of hiring the people on this staff that think that way, and it makes going to work a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've maybe asked you guys about this before, but it's just so impressive to me, so I'm going to ask it again. This coaching staff has a lot of different voices on it. In your room, it's you and Coach Hart and maybe even more. The defensive line room is D. Lou, Coach Sapp, Coach Dancy. I find it impressive that you guys are able to make sure that you're all pulling in the same direction rather than these guys hearing different voices coming from different angles and then getting confused and pulling different directions. I'm curious, what is the key to making sure that you guys are, have all of your sails going the same way?
Well, I think it starts top down, right? And it's a we, not me approach. So, our goal is to get all of the players on the defense to play at the highest level week in and week out. And that's our job as coaches. So the more that we're on the same page and the more that we see the game the same, the better the teaching progressions are going to be for the players and the better the outcomes are going to be of the games. So I think it's real simple. Everybody's got to have the same clear vision. It's a top-down approach, and you got to be on the same page. That's huge. Culture. We talked about it last time I was on the show, right? Mm-hmm. Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Everybody being on the same page, bought into the same principles and values of the organization, and executing the game plan. And you've got to have that at every position, on the team in order to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. One of the things go ahead.
Without naming anyone, have you been a place where it's not like that though? And does that give you an opportunity to appreciate?
No, that's a good question. I've been places that it's not it's about one guy wanting to do it. He wants to be the voice. I think, from speaking on the defensive side of the ball, Robert wants everybody to get up there in front of the defense and, be really good at what it is, your area of the field is, whether it's red zone or short yardage, third down, run game stuff. He gives those individual coaches and players at times autonomy to be able to speak up to the team. I've been places where it hasn't been that way. It's been one guy, one voice. It gets monotonous with the players hearing the same guy, and it's hard to believe that some places would be that way, but that's not the way it is here.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going, RK, because as a witness in these meeting rooms, whether it's Coach Prime, the head coach, Coach Livingston, D.C., I'm blown away at those two leaders who say, no, I want you to say something. I want to hear from you. Like, so there's no blocked out voices. Even in the locker room at halftime when Rob Livingston comes in and you or Mathis or Dancy is teaching something, he steps back and allows that to take place, and then he'll get the last word.
Right, and that's a testament to him of the faith that he has in us, and I think that's the sign of good leadership is hiring people and then believing in them and allowing them to do their job. And can't say enough things that are positive about Robert or Coach Prime and setting it up that way.
Speaking of positive things being said, I know you got a great present in coaching and a great future in coaching. But based on the comments, you might want to look into OnlyFans. They think you.
Oh my God!
I'm only saying what the people are saying.
Oh man,
I didn't know what OnlyFans was until recently.
Did Neely teach you?
I'm gonna stay away from OnlyFans.
Stay away from him.
Coach, I want to ask you this about a pivot in this season. If you look at, say, the Nebraska loss or even the Kansas State loss, one of the things I saw happen internally that it's not really as much as we have cameras everywhere, this is not a public thing, was the public grading of players in front of the entire team the next morning's practice. And I think, like, the guys have really, I didn't know we were going to have to get up and be accountable tomorrow. Let me work my ass off today. I think there's been a change in effort at practice. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think that accountability, is the best thing that you can have in any line of work. If there's no accountability and jobs aren't clearly defined, well, then no one knows what the heck's expected day to day. And then if no one knows what's expected, nothing's going to be done the way that it should be. So to answer your question, accountability is huge. And I do think that players have taken ownership in their mistakes and they've continued to want to get better. No one likes to lose, right? Mm-hmm. But when you lose, you have to have a plan of, okay, well, what are we going to change and how are we going to change it? And I feel like we've done that. And these last 3 games, just like Coach Prime's been saying, they're playoff games. And there's very little error for mistakes, and there's got to be, another level of energy and enthusiasm and passion as you go throughout the week and carry about your business.
What's it been like just coaching this duo of Levante Bentley and Nakai Hill-Green? Because I'm sure you've had other duos before where it's like you're almost pulling your hair out just trying to get them going.
Those guys, they're pros in the classroom, and they give you everything they have. And Coach Hart's done a really good job with those guys, and they continue to try to work on the technique and fundamentals that they're taught, and they're getting better, and we need them to play well for us the next 3 games, but not doing anything that they haven't been doing, just show up and be you. When guys try to do too much, right? All right, in any profession, and I know we keep saying that, but do your job. All right, and doing your job is you're 1/11th. There's 11 guys out there on offense, defense, and special teams. And if you can do your job and execute that at a high level every play, the team's better. The team works. Yeah. The thing – you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just, my message if I was talking to the linebackers or any position on the team is, hey, you've got a job to do every play. We don't know how many, it's going to be between 50 and 90 plays, and you've got to go out there and execute your assignment every play. And it takes great focus. One of the hardest things to do in any sport, but especially football, is it's focus. It's in between those whistles. Are you getting the call? Are you getting your eyes back? Are you hustling to the ball? Are you aligning properly? When the ball is snapped, there's a lot of pre-snap things that you have to do that it's focus. And focus and execution are the 2 things that we harp on, and we're hoping that we continue to have success doing it the way we're doing it.
Absolutely. Much success. I believe in it.
Well,
I believe in you.
I believe in you guys, man. Y'all bring the juice. I want to see it tomorrow too.
Well, yeah,
we got Big Poe in the building.
I've been texting with him, man. He told me y'all were up in the lobby. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, no, it'll be.
Oh,
good.
Miss. Yeah.
Look up to section 108, row 45. You'll see me bringing the juice.
All right.
And if you look
I'll be sure.
Press box, you'll see a cloud of smoke come out.
I love it.
He's bringing the juice.
Appreciate you.
Well, good to see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
man.
you got it, man.
George Helow, you got to love him.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Let's take our first break.
Let's do our first break. Then Scotty can come back, right?
Scotty, you want to hop back on right now? Shout out to the homies over at Game Time.
I totally agree. Atlanta, stay focused. He looks exactly like the Winter Soldier. He just has both arms.
Tomorrow's sold out. Announced today.
Is.
The game is sold out. If you want to get in the doors to watch the Buffs take on the Utes, you got to head up our friends over at Game Time and take all the guesswork out of buying your tickets. Use Game Time Picks. You can see the view from your seat. You can see the best deals, not just for football, NFL, basketball, hockey, concerts, events, whatever's going on. Hit up our friends at Game Time. Create an account. Use the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Also, you know what time it is?
Time to chill.
Time to chill, baby. With Coors Light. Look, it's Friday. You've had a hard week. You've been working. And you just need a little something to take the edge off. Nothing hits quite like the first Blue Mountain ice-cold Coors Light on a Friday afternoon, man.
I'm still dreaming of the Coors Light from last pregame show. That thing was frosty.
Did yours have like ice chips in it?
No, so it was a slushy. I had a Coors slushy.
Yeah, I did too. It was actually amazing. Anyways, if you are looking to chill this Friday or this weekend or any day really, head up our friends over at Coors Light. You can also have it delivered straight to your door when you go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
How does he switch back that quick? Like it's arcade and light.
It's just become the way I say it. It doesn't even feel different.
Hey, y'all seen the movie Drumline before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
When Coach Helow was just talking, one band, one sound was just ringing in my head. Good questions too, RKO. I mean, but that's just facts though. Like all these cooks in the kitchen, so to speak, in terms of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're all pulling the same direction. They all kind of sound like they have the same messaging, and that's just really important. It's just, to me, just proof that there's so much trust in that building. You know, Coach Prime has so much trust in his assistants to, you know, say what he would say or give a different perspective that, you know, the players will buy into. So I just thought that was really cool.
But he's hiring someone who's never had a room.
And to that point, I mean, I've seen it just from my perspective when it's the other way around.
Right.
And
I think we all have. Right,
never works. It
no.
never works. I mean, Broncos fans will remember this. I'm sure Jake will remember it. I'm not going to name any names. But there was a story that came out during one of the head coaches where they said the offensive coordinator would put the call in, and the head coach audibly over the headphones would go, oh, God. And it's just like, you can't win that way.
Not at all.
And what a petty move by the head coach to even do that, because and now you're putting extra pressure on a guy who's already got a lot of pressure on him. I can't imagine how difficult calling plays is anyway. But it's just, you know, when you look at this staff, and it's been so impressive to see the way that they can add voices and not feel like there's some sort of ego struggle. Yeah. The defensive line room is by far the most impressive to me. Yeah. You've got, you know, D-Lou, you've got Sapp, you've got Dancy, all big personalities, all strong-minded coaches. Yeah. And I just think in a different world, without the leadership of a guy like Coach Prime, it would be a lot harder for three people like that to work so seamlessly together.
Well, you just said it there. It comes down to the leadership of Coach Prime. If you don't have a leader that can kind of bring all those voices in and actually, you know, allocate power properly and have them all say their piece when it's their turn, like, you kind of get chaos.
And you know what I think it comes down to is the feeling that everyone knows around here that if you win, quite literally on the win-loss column or figuratively, just we win as a group, everyone is going to win.
Yep.
No one is concerned of like, am I going to get my shine if Warren Sapp is here?
Right.
Because in the end, rising tide lifts all boats. And the tide has risen quite a bit this season. And no one is like light on shine. You know, everyone's going to get their credit. Everyone is going to get elevated in whatever ways they want if they're part of this ship alongside Coach Prime.
Yep.
I just think it's been a masterclass. It's been a masterclass in terms of roster construction from last year to this year, but it's also been a masterclass in coaching staff construction. Like you mentioned, like Coach Helow was technically a late ad. You know what I'm saying? Like he came, you know, pretty much a few weeks, I think, right before the season.
I think it was August,
so. Yeah, very soon before the season. And, you know, on the other side, I mean, I think of Coach Phillips, who I think has done an amazing job with the receivers room. He was coaching in the CFL, like, you know, last season. Right. So it's like, he took some risk, and obviously the SAP probably had some noise around it, that decision, but it's obviously paid dividends. Again, goes back to Coach Prime's leadership too, getting everybody kind of rowing in the same direction. It's just been huge.
Yep.
I'm almost reluctant to say this because I can't take anything away from Coach Prime's leadership. You all, the three, you know that. And as much spotlight it deserves to be on that, we have to also put the spotlight on those individual coaches being coachable.
Yes.
Because let's just keep this in mind now. Not to throw darts or throw names at anybody. Who was the head coach last year?
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime?
Yeah.
We had a defense coordinator. We had a D-line coach. We had an ends coach. It didn't work like it's working now.
Yeah.
So you got to have that leadership in Coach Prime, but people got to be willing to be led, and people got to adapt and fit in and make sure that they're coming with the right level of accountability, responsibility, and being coachable. Coaches have to be coachable too.
Yep.
And we're all, being led by Coach Prime Deion Sanders. So it's his mantra. He sets the tone. He's the bell cow, as you say in Mississippi, leading us to the salt block. But you got to be willing to go, and you can't be so stubborn. That's one thing I love about Rob Livingston's defense. It's not based on what he brought here. It's based on what he developed after he met the talent here.
Right.
Like, let me design it around who we have and what they're capable of instead of forcing my plan down their throats and saying, damn it, you're going to learn it. We're going to run this.
Yep.
It's like, no. Scotty Pockets is good at that. We're putting that in the defense. No matter how crazy it looks, we're going to put him in a position where he can excel because he's on this team. And until he's gone, we got to put him in positions where we can win. And that's his defense is predicated on that.
I always go back to it, just kind of piggybacking on it. The coolest thing maybe I've ever heard a coach say was Coach Livingston earlier this spring, where he said he thinks of his players as shooters on a basketball team. You want to give them as many shot attempts as possible, whether they're good at pass rushing, whether they're good at covering and man coverage. Put them in that position as much as possible. And I just, like you said,
absolutely,
close to what you said.
Gotta love
that.
I've never heard that before either.
Like, it literally, Loki blew my mind when he said it.
It's kind of
so smart.
It's kind of rare to hear football coaches say something we haven't heard before, but that's a cool one. For sure. And speaking of that, Coach Helow said something about accountability and how important that is for every industry. And it was so interesting that he said that because we literally had a meeting this week where I gave credit to our guy RG for a meeting that we had after our first Stampede, and this is very behind the curtains for you guys, but we thought it went well. Obviously, the game didn't go well, but we did some cool stuff. The fans were hype. We got a lot of engagement, and we had a meeting, and I think we were all on the same page. But RG, went and said it, and it was just like, we can do better.
Yep.
We can do better here. We can do better there. We can do better here. We can do better there. And we were all just kind of sitting there like, you're right.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly. And what happened is we took it and we stepped up from there, and we've gotten better every single time, every single trip. But it goes back to that idea of player-led teams. And we give so much credit to the coaches, but for the same thing, it's some of these players, man, they do such a great job of pushing that message and holding each other accountable. And I think all it takes is one time where it's your teammate who holds you accountable and you feel the way that hits different.
Yep.
And then you can pass that on down. That meeting before the season, the Buffs kind of got dunked on for it because they're like, does this really need to be said right now? But it was Cam. And he got in front of the team and just, essentially laid into everyone.
Yeah.
And it was like, this isn't good enough. You guys are really taking this for granted. Think about the people back home that would kill to be in your position. And like I said, people were like, wow, 2 weeks before the season, they need to hear this. They're in big trouble. And it's like, no, you got the wrong message from that.
What an idiot. Whoever thought that. What a not just a football idiot, what a life idiot.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not that it's too late. It's that it happened.
Yeah.
And that guy is going to hold this team accountable throughout the season.
I was just going to say, going back to the RG anecdote, that was obviously before I had joined DNVR, but shout out to you guys, though, in that room for creating an environment where he felt comfortable that he could speak his truth and be honest and be forthright. And I think, again, that's kind of what we're seeing.
Throwing out some big words there.
You like that? I like that, too.
That's how you win, man.
For real. Again, it's the same thing going on in that locker room. They've built an environment where they want voices. They want multiple voices.
And in the coach's staff room, and the worst thing you could be to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is a yes man.
Yeah.
When he says, what do y'all think, he really wants to know what the coaches think. And then when he's up in front of the team, he's asking players, asking coaches, no, man, I'm for real. This is a safe space. Who has a problem with this? Say something now.
Definitely.
You saw that in the first team meeting. I said my part. Now let's hear yours. And you saw how timid everyone was when it came to it.
He doesn't play that like he wants. He didn't hire guys just to be him.
Yep.
He wants you to be the best you can be. He wants diversity in thought. He wants to be challenged. He wants to be questioned.
Love it. How much time do we got?
I have no idea. I text our other guest.
All right.
On the way, one of them.
How was practice this week?
It looked good. I thought, energetic, as Coach Helow alluded to, with the Tuesday and Wednesday is more of the stout practice. Thursday and Friday, you lighten the load, get them out of pads, rest up some bodies, because not only is that just a football thing to do, this is week 10.
Yeah.
Like when we've been hitting each other since August.
Yeah.
So at some point, I just got to trust that Scotty Deep Pockets knows how to tackle without me making him tackle Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can see that has worked out. The guys have been energetic because, as Coach Prime always tells them, like, if I give you something, what I want, something in return. So they know you better tackle your asses off Saturday, because if we don't, we're going to go back to hitting every day, which you hate doing. So I thought practice was energetic. I thought the player-led, team talks were spot on. No one is – I know the outside noise is, Florida State, the Dallas Cowboys, the Big 12 championship, but the inside noise is Utah. Like, no one in that locker room is looking at the trip to Kansas or Oklahoma State coming here. Everyone's focused on Utah, and I love that part of it.
Oh, yeah.
That just reminds me, as a fan base, can we stop saying, like, man, I hope the team doesn't overlook Utah, like this, that, and the other. It's like –
team is so locked in.
No one is more locked in than the team.
No. It is totally – a fan thing looking ahead.
And that's allowed.
Rightly so.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
Rightly. It is totally a fan thing to look ahead. I was talking to Coach DK at practice, David Kelly, the general manager, and I think it's one thing that we need to do going into this game less than 24 hours away in the next couple of games is not assume the players or even the fan base understand the depth of control your own destiny and what that means. So many times in life, what we do depends on other people. I don't care if it's this podcast.
Right.
Like, if I'm running behind, if you're running behind, it impacts everybody else.
Yep.
Well, we're in a situation, it doesn't matter what the F happens in the rest of the football world. It's totally on us. And you can ride that and be successful instead of dropping one and going, all right, let's sit around and hope such and so loses now. So this control your own destiny thing is huge. It's more than a catchphrase.
Yep.
And it's a huge kind of to your point, but like it really helps in staying locked in.
Definitely.
It's like you got 3 games left. There's no reason to be looking ahead. If you got 11 games left on the schedule and you look ahead, it happens.
Right.
But this team just has to play their best football, or better than they have even.
Yeah.
3 games in a row.
And
that is not asking a lot.
I think with the
As a coaching style.
Excellent point, RK, and I think, Scotty, with some of the things the fans do that the players are not doing, and it's not looking ahead, it's also not taking for granted what's in front of you. If you go back to August, these last 3 people, starting with Utah, were all predicted to be in the top 20.
Yeah.
And now they're not.
Yep.
But you can't allow that to go, all right, we got this no matter what. Like Coach Helow said, these guys have been losing, but they've been losing close games.
Yeah.
Look what happened with the number 1 team in the conference, number 6 in the nation. They were beating BYU.
Yeah.
And I know they've had some personnel issues since then or before then, but that's still the same team. And so no one in that building is taking them for granted or looking past them.
I know Utah's watching, but can we get a couple injury updates if we can?
Sure.
Jimmy
Jimmy Horn will be out. Shane Cokes will be out. Michael Welch will be out.
Deion Hayes.
I got to assume Deion is out still because I didn't see him.
Okay.
I looked up because Coach
He had
Pollock
surgery.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so his
who
out
else?
is extra out because he wasn't in the building. So Cokes, Horn, Micah, out. Oh, Preston Hodge out.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
What about Isaac Wilson?
What about?
We got the cooties.
But I know who is in, and we can always count on the DNVR Pregame Show.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Coach Michael Pollock.
Oh, I didn't even see him come
See,
in.
that's how stealthy he is.
Yeah.
Like that's how light on the feet he is, man. He's just
All
bob and
black.
weave. Next thing you know, he's in here in all black. He's ready.
Let's go.
Should we take a break while we transition?
Yeah, let's do that.
Shout out to the homies at Promotico. They obviously hooked us up with the bus.
What a bus.
And it is, an unbelievable bus. It's got everything we could have asked for. If you need a bus, hit up our friends. They can help set you up. You saw what they did for us. They did it for College Game Day as well. Hit up their site at Promotico.net. That's PROMOTOCO.net, or call 678-208-3436. You can find them on Facebook also to learn more.
Also, shout out to Elevations Credit Union and the new Go Buffs Visa Signature Rewards Card. Easily the sexiest credit card in world history. And on top of that, every swipe benefits the Buffs. Pretty cool. And great to see local businesses supporting Colorado football. That's what we need. That's what I love to see. And so a huge shout out to Elevations Credit Union for backing the Buffs. Go visit buffscreditcard.com to apply and see full card benefits and details.
I got to tell you this, guys. It just occurred to me before we get to our guests. I appreciate all the hard work of the players and the coaching staff and the fan base. But this team is undefeated when RK and I both randomly show up in Travis Hunter shirts.
Oh.
So,
wow.
It happened again.
Wow.
It happened again.
There you go.
Might want to ride with the bus, I'm just saying. Coach Pollock.
What's up? Hey.
Offensive analyst is in the house back with no stranger to the pregame show. We got to get that head of hair in that face on the bus.
No doubt.
That's how deep you are.
No doubt, man. Hey, speaking of local sponsorships, where's our main sponsor? I mean, what are we doing? We don't have the Coors Light because we're in the hotel. I mean, is that just a bus thing? Is that just a RV
we
bus
them
thing?
out. We just haven't had them in front of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just curious. I like to ask questions and be informed.
No, we love it. We love it. We love having you on because you inform us. Let me give you a couple little flowers here. I mentioned this to Coach Helow. He was on right before you.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw change in this team between, say, Nebraska and Kansas State, when we started doing the at least in front of the team, the public gradings each practice.
Absolutely.
So I talked to Helow about that. Here's what I want to talk to you about because I've seen the difference, and you head this up. Although we have had some things happen along the way, the presentations that we've been doing on penalty scenarios that you come down and lead, I think have made a tremendous difference in this team this year.
Well, I like to think so. It didn't look like it last game, but
that's why I said we've had some we've had some moments.
But overall,
we ain't like we was last year.
I think just calling their attention to things. Even getting up there this week and talking about what happened last week against Texas Tech, and
we need a toning reminder.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And
this week's lesson was toning.
Yes, and we talked to them about controlling their emotions. I told them, I said, you know what, guys, I know a lot of kids out there, with social media and all, they want to have that viral moment. You know what I mean? And I told them, I said, listen, if you want to go viral, go over to our head coach and celebrate with him because I promise you the camera will be on you and it will go viral, okay? So whatever you do, and you won't get a penalty over there by him. So, we talked about that, and I think, just keeping our emotions in check and not getting ahead of ourselves, So, and in the end, you got to realize these are 18 to 23-year-old kids that we're dealing with. And, they get out there, they've had tortillas thrown at them for, about 3.5 hours and no telling what else is on there. I found out that they were, apparently they were loading the tortillas. They, put little stuff, sauce in them and balled them up, threw them at them too. So I thought it was just a little, the little Frisbee throw. But it was a lot deeper than that.
They were gobs of them. They were ones with messages.
I heard there was vapes, Zin cans.
Yeah, anything that had some weight to it.
Listen, man, I tell you what, that was crazy. But you kid, like I say, when you're in an environment like that, you still got to maintain your composure and got to handle your business. But I do think that controlling ourselves penalty wise, has played a big part in our success. Even though last week it was very unusual, but they had a lot of penalties too. So it was it wasn't like we had a bunch of penalties; they just had a couple. There was both teams that were, causing issues.
Coach, let me follow up with this. I am by no means on Utah staff. They,
right?
They got that covered. But if I was over there, I would do everything I could to keep Shador and Travis on the bench, which means I got to control the clock.
Yes. Which
means if that were to work, when we're on the field, we got to maximize, which is something we haven't been doing well in the first quarter. What are you looking at that we've done this week in discussion-wise that we got to take advantage of every opportunity at the start of the game.
Well, I tell you what, you're exactly right, because that's what Utah did to BYU. BYU had 3 possessions in the first half, and I can tell you right now they're probably going to try to do the same thing to us, and we are going to have to come out and be more efficient than we've been, especially in the first quarter. The first quarter is the only quarter we haven't won all year. I think we've been outscored 71-70, something like that in the first quarter. So, but I think one thing that we've done a really good job of is we've kind of narrowed down really what we do well on offense and what we feel really comfortable doing. And I think, starting off with those things that we feel really comfortable doing, that we've executed at a high rate throughout the year, and our kids just, can do it in their sleep, and coming out like that and just keeping it simple early on is a key. That way that gets Shedeur in the groove. It gets the offensive line in the groove. It gets Travis and the boys in the groove, and our running backs. And I think it's just a deal where we just got to go out and execute things that we've got supreme confidence in, and let our talent, show up. Don't try to outthink people, out-scheme people, and all that kind of stuff. Because at this point in time, you may have 1 or 2 surprises for a team, but for the most part, they know you and you know them, and it's the team that's going to go out there and execute, not create turnovers, not do stupid things, and But so I think attention to detail on the things that we're already good at, and just keep doing those things, especially early in the game. But then, if we got a few things up our sleeve, we can bring them out a little later once we get comfortable and get into the flow of the game.
Yeah.
When you prepare for an opposing defense, how much do you look at or how much is it what they've done versus what you think they would do against you? For example, you look at a blitz package that a team wants to use, but that leaves the X wide receiver wide or one-on-one. And do you look at that and say well, they're probably not going to do this because of Travis Hunter. No one does this against Travis Hunter.
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, that's 100% what we have to do, especially with our offense, because we throw the ball a little bit more than anybody else in the Big 12 right now, which is kind of ironic because the Big 12 has always been more of an air and out, throw it, offensive teams. But I think there's more run game going on in the NFL. In the Big 12 this year, and and then nobody has a Travis Hunter, So we have to consider that. We've seen a lot of double coverages, a lot of coverage has been tilted toward Travis this year that we have not seen on tape going in there. So we go in there with the expectation that this is how people are going to do. We try to find, first of all, you try to find game tape of teams that are as similar to you as possible. So you kind of get an idea of the structure. And then you kind of put yourself in their shoes and say, hey, listen, if I was them, this is what I would do. We've played a lot of teams that, they may be a low blitz team, coming into the game. And their blitzes have gone up against us because we throw the football more. Maybe there's a team that plays a lot of man coverage, but because you're sitting out there with Travis Hunter, like you said, you don't want to play one-on-one with him and nobody deep, because that puts you – unless you got a dude out there now. If you got a guy that you think can match up and he's trying to get paid in the NFL,
good luck to him.
Good luck to you. But we try to – it's a guessing game. It's a chess match. And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where you want to start the game off and kind of get a real feel for what they're going to do, and you want to keep things simple on your end so you can execute at a high level. So first of all, if Shedeur sees something he hasn't seen, he's so confident in the scheme, the concept that we're running, the pass play we're running, that it doesn't matter what covers they're in, because at this point he's seen it all. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's seen it all. He just has to figure out what they're doing. And I'm gonna tell you something. After a couple series, get down there and get an iPad and figure it out. You can see what happens later on in the game. Yeah. But with these guys here in Utah, I tell you what, they've got a defensive staff that has done what they've done for a long time and been successful at it, and they believe in what they do. Now, will they have a wrinkle here or there for us? I'm sure they will, but I expect to see what we've seen. Because, I mean, that's the kind of team they are. They've been a successful team. They've been a successful defense. D coordinator, I don't think he's coached anywhere else but Utah in his whole career. Started as a GA, and I think he's the head coach in Waiting. You know, they've kind of built themselves off defense. You know, what they've done has got them this far in terms of, you know, they're ranked at the top of the conference or in the top of the country in several categories. So they've got supreme confidence in what they're doing. And, you know, the worst thing you can do is go into a big game as a coach and just change your whole identity. Because then you're asking your kids to do stuff they're not used to doing. So, yeah, there is a little bit of a guessing game, and I'm sure we'll see a few little things they've got towards, especially, you know, leaning towards Travis and trying to help give their corner some help with him. But for the most part, I think Utah is going to give us what they've shown so far.
Kind of along that same line, Coach, of kind of just figuring stuff out in the game. Shador mentioned in the post-game press conference last week that when Jimmy went out, that really hurt because there was a lot of stuff that you guys were counting on to use Jimmy for in that game. So what is the process like that when it happens to you, when all of a sudden you have to search for answers on your own team? You guys found the screen game a little bit later in that game last week. So what's that process like, you know, those first 2-3 drives, just trying to figure out what can we do with what we have?
Well, I think it goes back to this. You got to look at your other playmakers. You know, you got to look at the Will Shepherds. You got to look at the Travis Hunters. You got to look at the Jonte Westers guys and say, hey, all right, these are the plays we had that we thought we could get the ball to Jimmy. But we also have plays, you know, a list of plays. Hey, this is how we get Travis the ball. This is how we get LaJonte the ball. This is how we get Will the ball. So, you know, it's a deal where, you know, you just say, okay, this column's out. We're good. Let's go to the other 3 columns. So, and luckily we have 3 columns to go to.
Yeah, and all 3 of those columns got a touchdown.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
One of the things I love, I'm not in a headset like you guys, so I don't hear the back and forth, but I can hear Coach Prime directly. You know, they're on the sideline, and sometimes he's pacing a little bit. And he goes, guys, come on now, darn it, get the ball to Trav.
That's right.
Stop.
That's right.
Stop making this so hard, man.
Right.
Get the ball to Travis.
Listen, there's a story. And this is the truest thing. Let me tell you something about people can talk about offensive coordinators and talk about drawing up plays and all this kind of stuff and everything. They talk about Andy Reid at Kansas City, such a great play caller and the play designer and things like that. But, you know, Nick Saban said it best one time when they asked him. Nick Saban said he was in high school one day, and his head coach, they had a play at the end of the game to win the game, and they had one play left. Said his head coach said, I don't care what play you call, Nick, but get the ball to Johnny. You know, sometimes, you know, you think players, not plays. And that's how you got to think as a play caller. And, you know, a lot of times a play design is designed to get a player open. It's not necessarily some, you know, great concept just drawn up on the board. It's just, hey, man, how can we get our best players the ball as much as possible? Because when you do that, great things will happen. I mean, last year, we had 2 touchdowns called back with Travis against Utah. One was a basic hitch, and one was just a go ball. You know, it wasn't anything fancy about it. It was just, hey, let's get 12 the ball and see what he can do with it. You know, and
both of them were touchdowns.
Exactly,
yes.
They were.
Yeah, well, let's don't get all in there. Yeah. I think the referee might have had a Coors Light.
Well, I was about to say that when the Big 12 watches this show, that Helow might get fined, but it looks like you're gonna join him.
I just realized it, but you know what? That Pac-12 referees.
Oh yeah, you good.
Since we're in the Big 12,
That's true.
That's
true.
There's no such thing as Pac-12 referees anymore.
Yeah, they're Pac-2.
You're good. So, Coach, you know, like we always do when we wrap up an episode of The Whistle, what are those 3 things offensively that you're looking for us to get out of here with that W?
Right. Well, first of all, efficiency, because, you know, Utah's going to try to limit our possessions. And second of all, we can't turn the ball over. We can't give them a short field. We can't help their offense out. You know, we know the injury situation they've had, and, you know, we don't need to do anything offensively that gives them an opportunity to get a cheap touchdown. You know, so we've got to hold on to the football. We can't limit our possessions, you know, by turning the ball over. And, you know, it goes back to what I said. We got to be able to run the ball enough to keep them honest. You know, we got to be able to run the ball enough to keep them honest. You know, I always kind of set the bar at 125 yards rushing. If we get 125 more yards rushing, we're going to have a big day. But, you know, if we get 100 yards rushing tomorrow against this crowd, I feel really good about it. I feel really good about the situation and feel what we can do. Now, obviously, we want more. But I just know we got to have just enough rushing yards just to give Shedeur a break, so it's not all on his shoulders, Yeah. And that goes back. That's going to help. Prime talks about the two things we got to do. One of the things we got to do. Defensively stop the run, offensively protect too. Well, part of protecting too is running the football.
Yep.
So we got to just be efficient enough to do that, not turn the ball over, and just be efficient with our drives and not do anything crazy that gives them a short field and helps their offense. Because I feel like if we keep their offense backed up, our defense is going to be okay.
Love it.
Speaking of actually not speaking of refs, how many points could you score if offensive pass interference wasn't a rule and you could just pick freely?
Interesting.
Ooh, man, I see you have been talking to Coach Helow. Well, I tell you what, it's it's one of those things that's kind of like lineman downfield. Sometimes a ref sees it as a pick, sometimes he don't, and it's a deal where you just. Sometimes it's just a luck of the draw. It depends on what referee. There's some referee crews that'll let the lineman get 4 or 5 yards downfield, won't call it. That helps the RPO game. Yep. And they're gonna not call the picks as much. But then there's some crews that they'll lean more toward the defense, and they won't call as much pass interference. They'll let them be more handsy with your receivers and all. So you kind of have to get a feel for that, and you just have to play through it. And I know it's unfortunate, and it's not good when it's going on, and you're complaining about it in your mind. But you got to keep coaching, you got to keep playing, and you just got to figure out what the referee crew's gonna let you do.
Yeah.
After first couple of drives, you can kind of figure it out.
But we talk about it in jest and talk about it serious. But the deal is with 9 games of film out there, teams have seen that doing that to us works.
Yes.
And so what we have to do internally is educate our players up on to look out for it.
That's
because
right.
You can't just depend on the ref to call it.
That's right.
Because they've proven for 9 games they ain't going to call it.
Well, we play a lot of man coverage on defense, and everybody knows that. So they run pick plays and man beaters.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways that you teach your defense to avoid pick. When a team's trying to, like, you don't want your defenders that are playing man being at the same level. If they're playing at the same level, you're the chances of getting picked. So you got to learn not to play at the same level, and just be aware. Like if I'm playing inside, I'm a linebacker, or I'm a nickel or somebody on a safety on the inside, and I see a receiver that's got a cut split. He's a little bit closer to the tackle than he normally lines up. And the back is on that side. I got to have some.
We talking
idea,
ball over here, Yeah. We talking ball.
Those are clues that our defensive coaches do a great job. Kevin Mathis and Rob and George and Hart and all them guys that work with our second and third level guys, they do a great job. We've been called a couple times, this year, and but I tell you what, I think they've done a great job of trying to overcome that, and I tell you what, when you play man like we do, you are going to give up some of them plays, and you don't want to, but I tell you what, it's hard to run the ball against us, because we do stack the box, and we do have more in there, and we put a lot on our corners, and you know what, hey, listen, if you want to play, first of all, for the best corner DB that's ever walked the face of the earth, for another great DB that's going to be coaching Kevin Mathis, and you want to get your opportunity to show the next level up, that you can play man coverage at the NFL at the highest level, this is the place to go. I'm telling you right now, this is the place to go. I don't even know why you a cornerback, why you would even consider anywhere else. I'm just being honest.
For real.
I'm a cornerback. I'm getting a chance to be coached by Deion Sanders for 4 years of my career, 3 or 4. Come on.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the college football recruitment version of Suge Knight recruiting people to death row.
That's right. That's right.
Like, if you don't want to produce all in your videos, dancing, come to death row.
That's right.
If you want to get coached by the best and you're a corner, the head coach, Kevin Mathis, the defense coordinator.
Yes, absolutely.
Come to Colorado.
Come on.
Coach, we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
All good. We're going to have some Coors up here next time. We
good to see you, man.
We need some banquet.
There you go. We'll get the yellow bellies for you, too.
Coach Michael Pollock, or as I like to call him, the Hair.
There you go.
What's up?
Reggie! You got it, fam.
All right, where are we going?
Take our final break.
Let's do it.
Scotty back?
Scotty?
He's daydreaming. Scotty,
we don't need him right now. Do the ads.
Shout out to the homies over at Red Hawk Roofing. It is snow season. It is no longer hail season. If you didn't get a roof for hail season, you better get one for snow season. But Red Hawk Roofing is the best in the business. And we like to support local here at DNVR, and Red Hawk Roofing supports us. So we can't say enough good things about them. Get your floors taken care of. Get your roofs taken care of with us here at DNVR. Red Hawk Roofing, the best in the business. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921 and tell them DNVR sent you.
Also, fellas, we got to take care of ourselves.
Yes, we do.
I'm speaking as one of us when I say it's very easy for us to, just assume that ache or whatever is nothing. Go get it checked out. Whatever you got going on, go get it checked out. Make sure you are seeing a doctor yearly at the very least and checking in, and UC Health is pushing that narrative right now. So UC Health is trying to make it as easy as possible to get it done with online scheduling and other convenience features available in the UC Health app. Download the UC Health app and get started. Let's talk about your tomorrow. Join the men's health conversation at uchealth.org/men's health.
Love it. Love it. And love that roofing, man. Needed those tortillas last week.
Yeah, for real.
Some tortilla-proof roofing.
Do we have another guest coming by?
I hadn't replied yet, so I'm going to go on the no side.
All right.
But, if that door happens to darken, because he's a big fella, like he's going to block the light out walking in.
All right, let's
Insert name. We have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
Let's do prime players.
Yeah, we do have
then.
Philip Houston slated to join us, but there's a lot of times meetings and treatment come up, and I know he has been doing some treatment with his shoulder, so we may miss him.
All right.
Hey, real quick on Coach Pollock, who I just love listening to, just talk ball. We were just talking last time I was just up here about the same messaging from the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And Coach Pollock just said, it's players, not plays. I've heard that before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of Coach Livingston's favorite things to say.
Yep.
And again, that's just proof. And this team obviously has a lot
and
of
they're on
those
different
guys.
sides of the ball.
Exactly, right? Even more impressive.
And then you hear that stuff get echoed by the players on the
Right.
sidelines. I also love this is a random side note, but I love the way that LaJohntay Wester hypes himself up on the sidelines
Where
or
did
in the
this come
game.
from?
I don't know. I was just thinking about players like saying, because there's just a video last week of LaJohntay sitting on the bench and he's just going, big players make big plays in big games.
No,
Like
he's talking to himself.
just talking to himself, like almost repeating things he's heard from coaches, I'm assuming, and just like hyping himself up. That fires me up.
I'll tell you another one to look at, and it's the opposite is silence. If the camera catches Shedeur just walking off by himself or with his pad, they're scoring next possession.
Oh, I remember you told me, you said before a game one time, you're like, if Shedor's quiet and Travis is running around dancing, watch out.
If Travis is turning back flips and Shedeur's off by himself, 40.
I love it.
They got two different approaches.
All right.
And Travis has been dancing all damn week. For real.
Prime players?
Let's do it.
I made some adjustments to mine. I sent them to her.
All right.
Wow. Audibles.
I had to make an audible. I remember, but I announced it here.
Yeah. Omaha.
All righty. Prime players for Colorado versus Utah. Offense first. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I'm going with my dog.
Yeah.
LaJohntay Wester,
Okay.
man.
Last week.
Okay.
This is last week.
I thought we said that last week.
was the last.
That's why I didn't pick him again.
This dude has been milking the new guy. How long does he get to milk new guy?
I get at least one more week. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, the season gonna be over. Like we're going to a bowl game and you still acting new. Come on, man.
Hey, man, I remember the idea being proposed that we couldn't pick LaJohntay anymore, but I didn't know we got a full
LaJohntay
vote.
was official.
I'm on your side here.
Cam is
Right, like, it
nudging
was-
up.
I thought this was an unspoken agreement.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was like, all
No,
right,
go ahead,
we
go
might have to
ahead.
talk
Like,
about
we
it.
might have to talk
The
about
committee
it.
never got
So,
together.
exactly.
So
There
now
was
that we've
never
talked
a full
about it,
decision.
next week.
Next week, we good now.
right.
Say less. LaJohntay, are we saying for Cam? Other side?
You didn't pick Cam.
No, I didn't pick, but I'm just
But
saying.
we'll
like,
know. We'll
is
get
he
Cam
off?
one more week. We'll watch
right,
this
say
game.
less, say
But
less.
LaJohntay for sure.
Tell us
is
about
off the list.
LaJohntay, yes.
So for my last time I can do it, my prime offensive player of the week, LaJohntay Wester. And don't let him show up tomorrow in that number 1 jersey, because then it's really gonna be up. But even if he's not,
Oh, really?
say less, my dog.
All
Say
right.
less. In case you didn't know, I've said this multiple times. Said it on the show Saturday. LaJohntay just is consistent as a college football wide receiver can be. 100 yards or a touchdown in 7 of his last 8 games. that probably means he's probably going to go for one of those again tomorrow. Caught 24 of his last 26 targets from Shedeur Sanders. I like LeJounte to pop off again tomorrow.
If he does come in here, let him know that he's got an open invite. I'll give him my headset.
We'll be looking at him. Sure. One thing I want to point out to the people at home that just heard your beautiful stats.
Thank you.
That's the reason you can't pick him.
I had last one.
I mean, like we could pick Travis Shedeur every week, LeJounte every week.
I hear you.
All right, fist bump, last greet.
Last time.
All right.
We all good now. The committee has spoken.
The committee has officially spoken.
So Cam's out too, right?
Not yet. We hadn't agreed on that.
Yeah.
We hadn't agreed on Cam.
Committee will have to revisit that one.
I went with Will Shepherd on offense.
Ooh, me too.
Because I couldn't pick LeJounte. But I believe
we can't pick LeJounte. We're down to like 2 players.
That was my process.
I went Will Shepherd. I think his length is going to be problems for them, particularly on back pylon. To me, he is just – and we really, really still haven't seen it happen in games like it does happen in practice. Like back pylon 50-50 ball is going to be Will Shepherd every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this matchup versus this Utah defense, what they don't have on the back end, I think is well suited, particularly with a Jimmy Horn being out, so you don't have that stuff across the middle like you would have. I think that 50-50 ball, I'm just bigger than you, give me a taunting penalty because you're little, I'm going Will Shepherd.
Unless you're Jalen Conyers, then you don't get called.
Yeah.
I took Will as well, and it's a lot for the similar reasons as what you said. Coach Pollock, interestingly, kind of alluded to thinking that they're going to face what Utah has done a lot this season. And a lot, especially like the last 5-6 weeks, that's man blitzes, heavy man blitzes, whether that is leaving one back or cover zero. And if that's the case, they're going to have to get the ball out fast. And one of the weapons that I saw this team develop in the offseason that I haven't seen them use a lot, except for on the touchdown that Will had last week, is the Shedeur Sanders, Will Shepherd back shoulder connection. Yeah. And in a situation where you're under heavy pressure, that is a really nice outlet to have.
It is.
So I think you're going to see maybe a couple jump balls, maybe a couple back shoulders, and definitely down in the red zone. I think you keep feeding the hot hand. I was watching Travis's podcast, and he said that after Will, because Will, I think it was back-to-back plays that went to Will, he got a screen that took it down there, and then in the very next play he got the back shoulder throw. And Travis said he was like yelling at the coaches like, let Will cook, like let him go again, throw him a back shoulder ball.
Crazy.
So I think this team understands kind of the hot hand effect. Feed the shooter who's cashing threes, and Will's cashing right now.
Since you're not allowed to pick anyone on offense basically anymore.
Pick an offensive lineman, you coward.
I picked Jordan Seaton.
Let's go!
I picked Jordan Seaton.
That's a great pick, man.
Because this is going to be one of the biggest tests that this offensive line is going to face this season. Utah's a very well-coached, very disciplined, very physical front seven. This is going to be the biggest test that Jordan Seaton's probably going to face until we get to the bowl game / college football playoff. So I see him continuing to do it, locking that left side of the offensive line down, and continuing to elevate himself as one of the best all-around players in college football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
There'll probably be some movement. I'm bad with names, great with numbers. Number 7 for Utah is the one to keep the eye on.
Yeah, Fillinger.
There you go.
Yep.
See, I got the number, you got the name.
I got you.
Not just a fill-in, eh?
No, just it's not at all. But I'm interested to see like if they're going to move him around. Or is he going to just come over the same guy? Either way, Jordan Seaton or Phillip Houston got to deal with him.
Mm-hmm. Defense.
I'll go first. I took Levante Bentley. This is a big-time linebackers game, man.
Yep.
There's going to be so many
My guy.
What up, Ben?
What's up?
Yeah,
absolutely. You want to talk to the people?
Here, take. All right.
Y'all talk to people. Let them know what's up.
Got enough slack on that? We do.
What up, gang?
What is up?
Got a demon.
I assume you're not in the shot all the way up
the
there.
camera's like right there. So
There you go.
So that squad action.
There we go. That's better.
You caught another body on kickoff last week.
I did. Yes, sir. That one felt good because it was a tackle instead of just someone trying to block me. So that one was actually, it wasn't even recorded on the stat sheet. I was like, are you kidding me?
Really? They didn't give you a tackle for that?
Well, one of them, either that one or the punt, which I thought that was an open field tackle, and it was clearly just me and him. So one of them I didn't get it, but whatever, How was the week? Great. We had a great week of preparation, so it's going to be a fun week. We worked our butt off, so it's going to be fun.
Jake, at least 3 out of 5 days, more likely 4 out of 5 days. I have breakfast with Ben every morning.
Yes, sir.
Great times.
We got Wednesdays with Warren. We need to add breakfast with Ben to the content lineup.
Here's the problem with breakfast with Ben. Like, it'd be so censored. Like, I don't know how much of it would actually make the air.
Yeah, no, it's we get some good topics going on.
Great topics,
Great
but
topics.
then we get off topic.
Oh, and then we get off topic, and it's off topic. Yeah, it's really off topic.
The two of you might be the only people who could be out of pocket at 7 a.m.
For real. Up and early.
No, this is like 6:35, and we're already done.
Yeah,
we're
no,
off topic.
yeah, no. I'm just trying to be like Uncle Neely, so my hero.
You don't want to be like Big Ben, baby.
Yeah, but all right, gang. I gotta peace out. So.
All right.
Hi everyone. Plus, I keep knocking this thing down. So. But
see you,
all right,
bro.
keep it real, y'all. Good to see you guys.
Appreciate you, Ben.
Like, you see that guy with the headphones on right there? Just got his key.
Yes, sir.
Don't sleep on him either.
All right.
Don't sleep on him either.
Can't do that. A2.
Anyways, I was going through my Levante Bentley pick for
You
a
were.
defensive player. Dude is just an absolute dog on defense. And this is a huge game for linebackers to make sure they're doing their job, being in the right spot. And he's as good as it gets in that position. And I would guess, and it's kind of a pick your poison, like there's no real right answer to this, but Nikhai Hill-Green has, really built up a name for himself as a run stopper, and I think Bent is too. But I think if Utah has to choose, they're going to try to go away from Nikhai,
Yeah.
and they're going to find out that there's another stone wall right there.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And Jake, you remember you asked me for my picks, and I was talking about I was debating linebacker or not because I think the linebackers had to have a big game. And I agree with you that players know numbers. And when they're looking up and I'm looking past the quarterback and I'm looking over the line and I see 41 or 20, this is no slight to 20, but this season I'm going to try 20.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I've seen what 41 has done to people.
Nikai's been an animal out
I
there.
like that thought process. I went on with defense-wise. I went BJ Green because I think the best indicator of future performance is past performance. And he's been balling, and it's only heating up more and more. And it's just one of those things, a special player, special time of season. Big money players make big money plays. So I'm going with BJ Green with a list of reasons I could delay the show with, but y'all all seen his stats and what he's been doing. So I think, 14 tackles for loss this season or something?
He posted it on his
he's
Instagram
killing it,
here.
man.
Going crazy.
Nikhai Hill-Green is ranked 4th in the Power 4 this season for tackles for a loss / no gain with 14 out of all Power 4.
17 is leading the nation, so
Yeah.
he's in the mix.
He's right there.
So I went BJ.
People really try to tell me he wasn't going to be like that because he was at Charlotte last year.
Crazy.
Boys just don't know ball. They don't get it.
Yeah.
But I think that's funny because Will Shepard and BJ Green were my picks last week. So you kind of just cheated off my test.
Well, it worked.
I don't think I cheated off of yours because, one, I don't remember what your picks were, and then, two, I switched mine.
Fair enough. All right, let me go with my defensive player
Let's hear it.
of the week, my prime
Don't
player.
let me down.
It's Amari McNeil.
I love it.
Had
That's the one I switched from. See, wait, because were you in here when I picked him?
I was.
Yeah, I switched from him because I was like, you know what?
I mean, I think that was his breakout last week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, statistically, for sure, probably his best game in the Colorado Buffalo uniform. And they're going to need a similar performance. They're going to have to stop the run. I think he unlocked something in himself, I think, last week, confidence-wise. And I think we're going to see something similar again tomorrow.
I'm finna give you some support in that pick. Not only did I have him picked and changed it, I saw it all week at practice. He is hungry.
For real.
I love that. Since everyone watches, I know that College Football 25 developers are watching. Please, for the love of God, get Amari over 55 speed.
Get his speed up, man.
55 speed is insane.
So
He's actually like a quick defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yes. Coach Prime had him stand up, I guess this time might have been Tuesday, and said, look, what you have done and what you have in you, when we get to preseason next year.
Yes.
Coach Livingston, what's his draft prediction? He said second round. Like, if he keeps doing that, you going from who's that guy to second round.
Because he had real flashes last season.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
times.
Especially
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. So, who's a player?
I heard what you guys said about Nikhai Hill-Green, and I don't care. I'm still picking him. Because the man's an animal. He's probably going to lead the team in tackles again.
Yeah.
He's probably going to have another 3 or 4 tackles for loss / no gain. He got a pick last week.
Yep.
He did?
Sure did.
Give me another turnover from Nikhai Hill-Green. That's my defensive player of the week.
I love
By
it.
the way, if you were to guess who was going to have this, I don't even think Nikhai Hill-Green would have been on the list. But this, guns up, Guns
was
down
hard. Yeah.
might be the hardest Selly of the whole year.
Yep, it was.
for sure.
Yeah.
Sleepers. You and I have the same one.
Nice.
All right, Colton Hood.
Yep.
I've had a lot of success picking Colton Hood as my sleeper, and I'm going back to it this week. Look, I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it, but yeah, doesn't sound like Preston Hodge is going to be out there. What a blessing that the next man up is Colton Hood. Yeah. And we'll see how they decide to shuffle out there, where they play these guys and where they line them up. But we saw this happen already when Travis was hurt. And Travis, pops in on third downs, goes into the slot, taking over for Preston. And then Colton's outside on Noah Fafita. No, sorry, on Teteroa McMillan with Noah Fafita throwing the ball. And he locked him up. I mean, was in his pocket the entire game. And so I think that this dude is a absolute star in the making, and he's going to make a big play for this team this week.
Yep. Unfortunate Preston won't be able to go, but the fact that Colton Hood's just waiting and ready for his opportunity is a huge bonus for this program and this team. He has kind of had his breakout performances with the picks. Give me another Colton Hood pick. I mean, I don't know if Utah's actually going to put the ball up that much, but I'd like to see him try these corners because especially with Money Parks and Micah Pittman out, good luck.
Yeah.
If he gets another pick, he cribbing it this time for sure.
Yes.
He's got it.
That's how
He
it's
also
He might be returning kicks.
kick returns.
Yeah, Jimmy's out. Yeah, he might be returning the kicks.
I would
And
love to
he
see that.
might have had one last week if he didn't trip again.
I'm laughing because the ones that he could have, should have, would have had, sometimes your mouth will get you in trouble.
Oh.
So he's back on the bench, and they're showing him the Microsoft pad and what he could have done. And he said, "Coach, man, he was talking to Coach Hart. He said, Coach, it's like I ran out of gas." And Andre was like, "So you said you need to do some gassers this week?" No. I mean that I should have cut the other way.
Got himself in trouble.
So he's been working on the wind, WIND, since then. I love those picks, particularly with the ripple effect of Hodge being out. I went in a similar direction, but with a different player, but based on the same thing. I went with Carter Stottmeyer because you're going to see him a lot at nickel, and I think that balance between us stopping the run and them having to go to the pass or keeping with the run matches his body type and skill set. I think he can come down and make some noise. I think he can cover. He's going to be one of those guys you're talking about moves around in this system because you got a guy out. So I like Carter all over the place, but at the end of the day, we may all be wrong because this one-dimensional run team is probably just going to keep running.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're going to have to throw it on third down.
At some point, yeah.
They're going to be behind, so they're going to have to throw it for sure.
Which, like Lubbock last week, when they came out and did that run play in the fourth quarter, like they've conceded. Like that is clearly a pass
They were trying to
down.
get stats.
Yeah, it's like, this game is over, man.
Who you got, Scotty?
I'm going with somebody we talked about earlier this week on the show, Keaton Wade.
He was just in here.
He was
just in here. Man has only played 3 games this season. He's second on the team in sacks with 3.5.
crazy.
I mean, this might be his last game of the regular season, assuming they're going to continue with the plan to redshirt him this season. So, again, I think and, again, going back to what Livingston always preaches about players, not plays, putting your guys in position. They've created a package, it seems, at least to me, for Keaton Wade. Having him rush from the second level of the defense. He's a talented, skillful pass rusher, and I think he'll get opportunities tomorrow to get at least one.
I like it.
Have you heard anything about the plan to redshirt him? Is that still in place?
It's still in place because the math hasn't been reached yet.
Okay.
But here's what I think. If he does what he's been doing, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Like we still got 2 very important games left, and the way he's been balling, I don't think you can do it.
Yep. And at the very least, if you take care of business in those 2 games, you have 2 more games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that point, he would be able to have played in, 8 games?
6, 7, 8.
At least 7 if
That would be 8. Yeah. 'Cause he's
So
played in 3.
I don't know how he has his typical performance and you still go with the redshirt plan.
I hear that.
But tomorrow exhausted one way or the other.
There you go. Those are prime players for the week. Shout out to our friends over at Sleeper, the homies.
The homies at Sleeper. Those are great picks. You guys know ball.
Good stuff, y'all.
You too, man.
We try.
Super chats. Oh, okay.
Look at that.
Look at that great posture. Look at the producer's great posture.
I know. She is
She's
kicking
locked
it.
in. She's locked in.
All right.
Hey, y'all got to chill on my pants in this chat, too, by the way.
Chat's been wild today.
No, all week, bro.
For real.
Are they camo? Like what? Salute to service? What we going with here?
It's just drip. Like, that's really the only way I can describe it.
It's definitely camo, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know.
It's not like jungle
like
camo.
fall.
It's like urban.
Real foresty.
I see like a Circle
Foresty.
K, a Dunkin' Donuts.
It's a lot of leaves. You know,
He can just stand out on
foresty.
Colfax and you wouldn't
It's
see.
like hunting camo, not like fighting camo.
They got pockets though. You better believe
Hey,
that.
shout out Goonsville, though.
Shout out
Yeah.
Gainesville for sure.
Yeah.
Real goons in the house.
All right, DJ Flame to you is first up. He says, "What's up, gents? F them Chiefs." Yes. Unc, what's the beard oil website?
Facedbyjazz.com. That's FACEDBYJAS.com.
Scott, what wave products do you use?
He uses Uncle Neely's beard oil.
They said drop the hair care routine.
I just use a brush and a do-rag, big dog. The occasional hair grease, but yeah, it's just, you feel me? Just brushing and a do-rag at night.
I tried to shout out your waves with Coach Prime, but he stepped all over it. Wanted to ask what's like working, but I tried to get
I
it in
peeped
there.
that, and I appreciate that.
It's all
You did
good,
that in
man.
there. People caught it, too, though.
Yeah, man, look, recognize the waves. This shit ain't just about sports.
Okay.
And then he says, "Jake, how much stock did Donovan lose by coming back this year, in your opinion?"
Wait, the guy that you said
Bro.
belongs on the front of the NCAA?
Dog, do you
That
see
guy?
who they're playing at quarterback?
Oh, okay.
They couldn't
I
even
thought he played running back.
They couldn't even complete 50% of passes last week.
Hey, man, I said from day one that man does not belong on there.
You know exactly what happens when there's no balance on an offense. Plus, he had the best back in the country in Blake Corum to kind of go 1-2 punch with, and Mullings is good, but he ain't Blake.
Might as well put Dylan Edwards on there.
Thank you, DJ Flame, to you.
This is where you take the gloves and wipe it off and look at the result. Taking 1 point, taking 1 point, taking 1 point.
DJ Flame to you again says, if each of you could give an award to someone on the staff, non-coach or strength staff, for their contributions this year, who would it be? For me, it's between Corey Phillips, Miss Ty,
No, it's definitely missed time for me.
and David Kelly.
Ooh.
Those are some good ones, but I'm going to go with Ty / everyone in operations.
Oh, here she comes.
I'm going to give it up to Miss Ty. You here to accept your award?
First, I would like to give.
You got to.
First, I would like to give honor and glory to God. Next, I would like to thank those who nominated me. Let me go back. First of all, I would like to thank Coach Prime for believing in me, for giving me the opportunity to be here, for everything he's done for me. And I want to thank Uncle Neely.
Wow.
I want to thank Uncle Neely.
Don't make us choke up.
From the South, Mississippi, cornbread fed, as you can see. Cornbread fed. So, I didn't realize, a lot of times, Uncle Neely, I don't know about you, but you don't really realize the trauma that you've been through, or what you've, been through in your life professionally and personally, until you get into other spaces.
Yeah, change of environment. Yeah.
Yes, change of environment. So this has been, everybody always tells me thank you. The young men always say thank you. But I'm telling them thank you because they're helping me as well. So.
And they call her Mama T, and that is a big compliment.
They call me Mama T.
When somebody call you Mama.
Yeah, they call me Mama T. So
Give it up for Mama T.
yes, give it up for Mama
Yeah.
T.
Let's go.
Thank you so much.
She helps us get settled in these rooms at the hotel. Make sure that we have the right connect and contact with
Thank you.
hotel operations, so the Funky Dope producer can have the Ethernet. And then outside of that, just at the office, I can't think of a category of thing that Coach Prime does not call on her for. Like, I don't think there's like, okay, she can't do that. Like, it's like whatever comes up. Hey, dog, what's that? She right there, Coach.
Elite, just helper of humans.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out
Just
Mama
wants
T.
to take care of everyone. It's amazing.
Thanks for that question, Super Chat. That was awesome that she was.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
cool. DJ Flame to you again says, lastly, we're doing a Friday night Jack Stack meet and greet in KC. It would be nice to just sit with the DNVR crew and supporters and just talk ball, non-tailgate style. He says he's coming to tailgate too, though. So, yeah, we'll see you there. We'll announce Kansas stuff soon.
Yeah. Well, I think it's out, is it not?
I saw it somewhere, yeah. Because maybe it was just in Slack. I saw where the bus was going to be or something.
I need to stay on this. I can't change my
All right. Well,
page right now.
I think that info is out there, and we're definitely planning on going to Jack Stack. So
Yep.
This guy has an Etch-a-Sketch. I thought this was
Bro, I don't think you understand.
Why do you need that for?
It just died. I don't know. We don't need it anymore.
We don't.
All right, Alyssa. The cursor's over Matt's super chat. So what does the first line say? He says, I see the future. Number 12 has his Heisman moment on Big Noon by catching, running, and throwing a TD. Thoughts? Would absolutely love to see it.
I love it. That's a lot with throwing the TD. He's more than capable of it. The dude has an arm. He can stand on the 50 and throw it out the back of the end zone.
I don't think I'm breaking any news here, but I think that Coach Prime has a internal feeling that if Shedeur Sanders is available to the team and someone is throwing the ball, it's going to be him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, as it should be.
For real.
This one is from Doubly Blessed Twin Mommy. Is that Allison?
Oh, yeah.
Allison with the super chat says, nice hat, Neely.
Thank you.
It is nice.
Thank you. It's convertible.
It is. And there's a nice big American flag on
Yeah,
the
so
side.
no one can say that Colorado's anti-American.
Which, by the way, there was a picture that came out this morning of Joel Klatt, Cordell Stewart, and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. They were all at practice this morning.
Yeah, and they had the helmet. Shedeur's holding the helmet. Looked like they might bust out the American flag, Ralphie's, on the side of the helmet. Pretty
in shambles.
Pretty fitting. Pretty fitting.
Yeah, kind of silhouetted like an olive drab military vibe to it.
Yep.
So I don't want people to think it's like red, white, and blue Ralphie. It's cool. Cool decal.
They saw it last year.
That picture is legendary.
Yes,
It is. Yep.
It's really cool to see Shedeur fans. I'm just kidding.
No, that was a good one.
Pretty Mimi says,
one fan for sure.
Why'd 7 get a taunting last game? Cats didn't show it. Or Fox didn't show it.
I was wondering the same thing. He's barely there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man,
he didn't take his helmet off.
No, I think that's what somebody said, that they took his helmet off, but I didn't.
No, I think did he stand over him? Because there's a rule that okay, you can stand over a person after tackle, but you can't advance over their head, like you can't step over their face,
and you can't look down.
You can't. The Tyrone Lue Allen out. You can't do that. Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what he did because he wasn't there long enough to do much else.
Yeah. So it wasn't about what he said or hand gestures. I think it was the step over.
Nicholas Wade says, can we talk about the Buffs' defensive rush for tomorrow? How many sacks? Who will stand out as they mount the rush? I got 7+. BJ Green with 3, he says.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Is that the question? Who's going to lead in sacks?
He said how many and then who will stand out. I say 5.
Yeah, I'm going 5 to 7, but 5 for sure.
5
on the low.
And I'll pick Sammy Sacks.
School had a great week of practice. Great week of practice.
Give me Sammy Sacks. God, my God. Give me Arden Walker.
Ooh, great pick.
Yeah, I'm going to still stick with BJ since he was my defensive player of the game.
I'm going to stick with Keaton, my sleeper.
Look at that.
There you go.
What a luxury.
Does that not
4
describe the
picks.
depth of this team right there?
What a luxury.
You wouldn't have to do all that if you would sit up straight. Just telling you. Over there doing yoga because you hurt yourself.
Mama Tia with the super chat. We always appreciate you, Mama Tia. She says, hello, Uncle Neely, DNVR, and fam fans, coach as well. Uncle Neely, we're nosy in a good way. What are we seeing under the jacket? With a laughing emoji.
Oh, that's Trav Heisman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Boom. And he has on a Trav shirt as well.
That's true.
So you know what's going to happen. Trav is going off.
Sheesh.
Thank you, Mama T.
Thank you, Mama T.
Elton Muhammad with just the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, man. DJ Flame to you again.
Flame to you is cooking, man.
What's the difference between VIP tailgate and all-inclusive tailgate?
So I think this relates to KC.
Okay. I haven't looked, truthfully, so I don't know.
I haven't either. My answer to all these questions is just, what was Coach Helow saying? Do your 1 of 11?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the events guy. I would be trying to do 2 out of 11. So email events@allcitynetwork.com.
And then there goes gap integrity. There goes lane assignment.
Yep.
And now a big run.
Yep.
Way to stay in your place, man.
Thank you, man.
Do your 1 of 11.
SL Jones with the super chat says, hey, Neely, where can I get that hat you wearing?
They broke them out at the team store today. So they got these military hats, which a lot of the guys be rocking tomorrow. And they got a couple of versions of camouflage Scullies as well. Mm. So team store, which I guess online that'd be Fanatics. I'm not sure.
Mm.
I think that's who
they have a team store site too.
Yeah,
and
so
that goes through. Yeah.
There you go.
Wilson the Ghost with the super chat says 2019 CU alum, and my dad's a 1972 CU dropout. LOL. We watch every damn game. Go Buffs. Appreciate you, man.
Shout out to the dropouts. I used to represent the C students myself.
That shit's expensive, so if you made it in, you're a buff to me.
Once a buff, always a buff.
Laura and Christy Buffenmeyer say, hi, we are here in Boulder. We tried to find the parking lot for the tailgate. Is it Ralphie's Bar? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Buffalo Trace gift bags are ready for our DNVR crew. We can't wait to meet you all in person. Can't wait to meet you, too.
Nice.
That's clutch. Thanks for hooking
Buffalo
it up.
Trace gift bag may make Neely get up early.
Drinking the Trace at 8 a.m. Let's go.
Erica Swinburne with the 999 super chat says, go Bent with the steam, the puff and steam out emoji, and says number 20. That's your
description.
Pick?
Yeah, that is my pick. By the way, well, are we done?
No.
Okay, keep going.
Big Teasy with the super chat. Big Teasy in the house. He says, shout out to the Waves, the Beanie, the Beard, the Fade, and the FDP, and the chat for keeping it live in here.
That was very creative.
Hashtag we all family.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Big Teasy.
I like pockets over wave, but I'll allow it because he has both. He has plenty of both.
Probably
got waves in his pocket.
Are there any more after Teasy?
All right, I have to reference this. I've talked about it a couple times on the show, but November 26th, 2022, the last time that Utah was in Boulder.
Dark day.
That was the day I began my public recruitment of Deion Sanders to come to Colorado.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you for your service.
I heard Deion Sanders doesn't like the cold. Here's how we're looking for the last game of the season. It was 54 and sunny. I tried to crop out how few people were in the stands. I didn't want him to see that part. But, I'm sure he read it, showed it to Neely. He's like, Neely, look at this. It's not even that cold there. Let's go.
I like that guy who said that. I got to respect that hustle, man. Way to reach out.
It's going to be similar tomorrow, too.
I know.
It is going to be similar to
weather-wise. That
was my whole point. Is like, it can get cold here in the winter, but it really doesn't affect football. Rarely. I mean, a snow game in even here or for the Broncos is like once a decade.
Dude, they're not going to believe you because you're like historic. Take it from new guy. Take it from new black guy. The worst weather has been the 2 spring games.
For real.
Like football season has been easy.
Yeah.
It's
like,
crazy.
We've had games you can be in shorts. But the spring is.
We did dodge a bullet last week.
Oh, yeah, because we're on the road.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been a sloppy-ass home game if we've been here.
That would have been ugly.
But I was going to say, even going to Texas, like being in Lubbock, like that changed my whole outlook on life. Like 50 degrees in
it's different when
Texas
in
is
there. I'm telling
much different than 50 degrees in Boulder or Colorado in general.
I think I would take 20 in Colorado.
The way that 50 felt out
there,
hell yeah.
Definitely. Crazy.
Definitely.
That is crazy.
Wild. All right. That's it.
Yes.
What's up, Mama T?
We will do.
So Mama T says Nikhil Webb Walker has started chemo today. She's asking all you in the chat and us to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Rooting for that guy, man.
And speaking of, he did reach out and says when he gets a little more settled, he wants to come on.
Please.
Of course, remotely. I told him cool.
Crazy.
And he said, man, he totally misses just being in the building. And then I'm adding this, even though the goal was surpassed, the GoFundMe link is still live. So it's never too late to support it, and it doesn't expire.
And just great job by Buff Nation.
Yeah, for real.
We can keep going. We can keep going.
Yep.
All right.
So there you go. We'll be back tomorrow for post game. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Are you in the stands or press box?
I think I'm in the press box. We haven't talked
Don't
about
sound
this.
so disappointed.
Yeah, right. I think you are.
Look, man, I really don't care. It's 2 different vibes, obviously, but I love watching games in the press box.
Good.
I love going on the field pregame. Like, yeah.
There's a reason why I'm not there. It's because I hated it.
I mean, I'm not saying I want to watch every game the rest of my life in the press box, but I have a lot of fun. I just like getting that view. That,
it is a great
all 22 view.
As long as you're looking forward. You look left, right, view's not so good.
Houston just texted and apologized, and he was at treatment. So
That's
all
all
good.
right.
Yeah.
All good.
He's all good.
Yep.
We had him
Get
at
that
press
rest.
conferences this week anyway, so we heard from him.
Yeah.
All right, chat. We appreciate you. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. See you tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Go Bucks!
Go Bucks.
We all silly like the mayor.